Hello and welcome, my friends, and welcome to new subscribers as well. Today's topic is called Take It All Down, and it's a little bit of an extension of some of the things that we had talked about before, that rather than searching and looking for something, we start removing the veil that's in front of us already. But I'm going to break it down to several sections. Got a lot to cover. Let's get going.
Open your eyes.
My name is Paul, and this is Path of Ascension. All right, so where do we start? Let's imagine that you have a big picture window in your house, and it overlooks sort of the front of your yard, and you decide that you're going to cover that over with some wallpaper. But you find a really beautiful scene, maybe a big mountain or something, and you paste that on there. So every day when you walk in there, you look at this wallpaper, and it's really beautiful. You really like it. And at the same time, everything that happens outside that window and all the changes and all the movements and the seasons come and go, and you haven't seen any of it. So you're looking at a stationary point of view rather than the things that are happening right now in your life outside that window. It's a bit like being a horse in a horse race, where they have those blinders on the side and they can only see this little bit in front of them, and they're running really fast, but they're not even really sure where they're going.
Cuckoo.
And I think this is where a lot of people spend a lot of their time, unconsciously running toward something, and they're running fast and they're running on a deadline, but they're not even sure where they're going.
Let's go. But inconspicuously. Through the window.
Now, I do know a lot of you guys who watch these videos know that that's really not the way you want to live, but it is sort of our default until we recognize that where we really live is right now in this very moment. So let's talk about ways we can get back to that.
Do we dare?
Why not?
Yes, of course, why not? Of what use is a dream, if not a blueprint for courageous action?
Right? So let's start removing some things. First thing we want to remove is any and all measuring tools. Well, that clip may be self-explanatory, but let me expand on this a little bit. When you recognize your authentic self, you realize that you don't need to compare yourself to anyone or anything else, because the gifts that you have and the things that you have to offer are so genuinely unique to you and your authentic self that there is no comparison. You know, back in the day when I played a lot of guitar, you'd hear a lot of musicians talk about who's the best guitar player, who's the best this and that. And I recognized early on there is no such thing. Everybody has a unique style and a unique thing to offer, and that's what you need to focus on rather than what anybody else is doing. So because what's unique to me is I tend to go off on tangents, I'm going to just insert this clip as a little reminder. What we're doing is taking things that we commonly are putting in front of our faces. We're going to remove them so we can get ourselves out of our head space, into our heart space, and more return and live in the moment, in the now.
My man.
So the next thing I think that tends to take us away from our own individual true selves is when we're affiliated with a group. Now, there's great groups out there doing great things. I'm not saying that's not a good thing. But remember, when you're with a group, and the larger the group, the more this really makes a difference. When you're with a group, you're going to feel a sort of obligation to go along with everything that goes on in that group. And that's not necessarily what you want to do. You join a group for a cause or for a reason, and you believe in something in your heart, and that's what you should stay with. And hey, I believe that things can really be done effectively in a group, everybody of one mind. But keep in mind, when it comes to dogma or separating yourselves from others or any of the other kind of rhetoric that sometimes comes in groups, that's where you have to draw the line and say, hey, I believe in this cause, I don't believe in that. And don't be afraid to distinguish yourselves in that way.
Ooh, boy, it's hard to be woke. It's hard to be woke.
Okay, so here's the big one: letting go of everything in your past and all anxiety or worry about the future.
Are you kidding me right now?
No, I'm serious. You know, your past has nothing to do with this very moment, except for the fact that this is what's led you here and got you here. You need to let go of that because what you're trying to do is move forward, and you're moving forward in each and every moment. The future and your anxieties and anything you're thinking about the future doesn't exist either. So, if we're talking about really living your life, there is only one moment that you're living in, and it's right now. So, my invitation to you is to drop all these things. There's no past, there's no future, there's no self judgment, there's no groups, there's no blinders, there's no racing toward an unknown goal. Just sit in the now for a moment, be quiet, and see what that voice inside you tells you. That will determine your future, that will determine where your authentic self wants to take you. The irony here, my friends, is that if you can do that, even for a few moments, you will recognize that you are part of everything out that window. You are part of everything on this earth. You are part of nature. You are part of the entire universe. That's all I've got for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Like I say, as always, any comments you have, please leave them in the box below. I did do a Ascension, sort of a secular Ascension playlist, and it's a bunch of songs that people have done that I think have been inspiring to me, and I just started doing it, and I'm going to keep adding on to it, but I will leave a link below. I think you might enjoy some of the music. It's really awesome. So peace and love to all of you. Stay in the now.
Our job is finished.